please. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we can get from George. George tells me he passed in a medical way. He had a hard time breathing. He tells me he's like a father figure to you. He goes like this, and he, excuse me, let me make sure that I have that in there. Okay, so he goes like this and puts a wing around you. I'm gonna draw it out here, and says that he was like a father or just very protective over you in that way. I asked what you had of his in honor of his memory. He just says like not much, or I feel like it's something like folded up or tucked away. He says, like I said before, he ends up passing medically. He seems a little congested, like a father figure, and then he says the word over time, so it's something that kind of happens over time. Does this make sense so far? Okay, Sarah, also, I'm just going to keep going. You are an empath, so you have the ability to sense and feel the emotions of other people before they can physically portray it themselves. So if somebody is feeling depressed or sad or uncertain of an action that they're taking, you can really feel those vibrations, even if they don't physically say anything or cry or portray that emotion. I know that's a lot, but luckily the whole thing is recorded. And then you also have a younger male on the other side who passed suddenly, unexpectedly, tragically. But we're going to hopefully focus in on George, who is like the father figure. He also says, I would love to know if this resonates with you, because then he additionally tells me he's your dad. I love this. He says thank you. So there was and then he shows me, he goes, there was no stone left unturned. So maybe in some way, whether it didn't feel like we got a chance to say goodbye or didn't have clarity on the situation, he says no stone left unturned. None of those feelings here. Does that make sense? Does it all resonate? And how did he end up passing? I've got so much pent up energy from the weekend. I love it. Then I just get in here and start zooming along. Okay, we weren't in contact, but I saw him the day he passed to say goodbye. Oh my gosh, how did he end up passing? Oh, and then so then he had said thank you up here, and that was like and typically thank you is my sign symbol for something we do to take care of him on his way out. And she said that he was battling cancer for 5 years, so it definitely emphasizes the fact that he ended up passing in a medical way. And then you had even said you guys were estranged in a way, and he had mentioned how he had put a wing around you to kind of he had mentioned there was kind of like a wing around you so you could like a father figure or somebody filled in. You also have another male up there who seems really a younger male that passed tragically before his time, that I think he takes responsibility for the way that he passed. And then this George person also brings in an older male that tells me that he ended up serving or did something of service as well. So we have like 3 different spirits coming through for you, all male. Okay. And she goes, that is wild. And I actually know the younger male, which I love that that's resonating with you. And I love that he's able to just come through on a session for you. Even like you never know what's going to happen in like your 5 minutes. Like I'm going to give you the whole download, and spirit energy moves quickly, very, very overstimulating. She goes, both my grandfathers were in the army, and I feel like one of these grandfathers may have been somebody that you would also consider a very close father figure, and that is the one I'm talking about here. And you know what? It is not common to have all male guardian angels, and that just means that you're a go-getter, you get things done, you're efficient. You're not afraid to take the lead, but also your world is in a state of having to like rebuild yourself. So honestly, it's like confidence. Don't be nervous that you don't know what the other side looks like. Be confident because you just don't understand it yet, but it's meant to be something big, you know. And so this father figure, he finds it. The younger male was my high school crush. Isn't that wild, girl? I talk to dead people. It's all wild, honestly. Hold on, corgi butt, corgi butt, corgi butt, corgi butt. Anyways, okay, cool. So get on in here. And so, Yep. So George says thank you for coming to see him, and that he takes also responsibility for that relationship. He says no stone unturned, remember? And so when you may have turmoil like, hey, there was a conversation we didn't have. Remember when he was saying that at the beginning of your session? Remember when he was saying, hey, no stone unturned, even if it feels like there's a conversation we didn't have? Well, listen, y'all having that, hold on, I'll do our corgi butt. Corgi butt, hold my thought, corgi butt. Corgi butt. Okay, so you know how he had said, no stone left unturned, okay? So even though you didn't have that conversation, he takes responsibility for that. So don't go for looking for something that isn't there to find. He is just completing the wholesome circle of all of it. I love that. I know, we got interrupted twice by corgi butts, but hey, a session is a session, you guys. And now it's going to be recorded forever for you to remember. All right, love you. Oh, I was worried he passed angry with me. No, first of all, there's a different responsibility in what was happening, because I get it if he's handling it like somebody with an over opinion that maybe is like attempting to help. But honestly, there is the, damn it, 3 corgi butts, corgi butt, corgi butt, corgi butt, corgi butt, come on. And so I think that there's a level of, you know, sometimes he has to take the responsibility because he's the parent. And so if he's able to pass and then absorb all the responsibility, that means that, you know, when he looks at it from a parent perspective, maybe he should have taken some initiative and not been so, well, you fucked up twice, I'm done with you. So, you know, nobody deserves to be abandoned. So that's how I feel about it. All right, love you. Have a great rest of your night.